Kia ora and welcome to Maidstone Park for this round 7 Swindale Shield match between the top of the table Upper Hutt Rams against Petone, sitting 5th on the table. Upper Hutt haven't beaten Petone since 2016 was the last time they tasted victory over Petone. Petone dominating this fixture so far. Khan Green leading out Petone onto the field here at Maidstone Park. Let's look at their roster this afternoon. Fullback is TJ Clark. The wings are Stanley Solomon and Lossie Filippo. Midfield is Riley Higgins and Lester Mololo. The captain is Khan Green at first 5. Cam Ferreira, the halfback. The flanks are Peter Larkeye, Mason Henry and Teddy Hearn. The locks are Jack Ross, Filippo Sapaya. And the front row is Alapati Soki, Ryan Emery and Jordan Salui. And here comes the Upper Hutt Rams, led out by their captain Toby Crosby. Let's look at their roster. Fullback is Scott Svensson. The wings are John O'Ryan and Solly Malatai. The midfield is Emmanuel Solomona and Todd Svensson. First 5 is Tynan Barrett. Halfback is Kane McCashin, Toby Crosby, Jack Wright and Jared Woodward are the flanks. The locks are Aidan Woodward and Mason Davis. In the front row is Tino Connelly, Eli Hunt and Nick Apikatoa. Joining me in commentary this afternoon is one of the co-coaches of the Petone Colts, and he's also coached a number of these boys in both teams at St Patrick's College Silverstream. John Herbert is our co-commentator today. John, what's your thoughts on this game?
Well, it's going to be pretty interesting, Brad, because I think that Petone are on the rise and they're going to really take it to Upper Hutt today. The Rams have shown really good form this year. New coach in there has made a bit of a difference. I think raised the fortunes of the Rams, so I think it's going to be close. I'm backing Petone, of course, because I'm a Petone man, but it's going to be close.
Our officials for this afternoon, the referee is Zahn Johnson, refereeing his 9th Premier game, formerly of Hawke's Bay, assisted by Hamish Mixted and Jason Taylor, and he gets the match underway, and it will be Petone kicking off towards the western side of Maidstone Park, and the ball's in hands of Emmanuel Solomona. The second 5 possession takes it to ground. McCashin, good out pass. And there's Peter Larkeye coming in very quickly with the tackle. Petone looking to continue their fine ways. They had an impressive win against Tawa last weekend. They won that game 41 points to 17. And a stunning 4 tries from Stanley Solomon. Khan Green getting his eyes caught by the sun. Chasing back after it is TJ Clark. And, well, he doesn't have much open, but just kick that directly into touch. And John Herbert, a little mistake there by Khan Green, puts them under pressure now.
Yeah, games like this will all be about the little things. Stack all the good things together to get the win, and the little things will be the enemy for you. Be interesting to see how this line-out goes. No, it looks like it's called a scrum.
Scrum has been called. Must have been the knock on, or maybe something there, who knows, but it's resulted in a scrum. First one for the day and a big battle here, John Herbert. You're a guru when it comes to scrum coaching. What are you expecting here?
Well, really interesting to see how a young guy like Sinio Sanali steps up here. He's had a pretty good run so far this season, but against men, it's a bit different to college, so let's see what happens.
The front rows come together, and McCashin feeds the ball. It's at the back behind Toby Crosby, but Petone's putting the twist on. Crosby takes it off the back, looks to twist around, and he may have scored. But he's gone into touch. Is it? No, it's a try. Try has been scored, and it appears it might be Kane McCashin that got over there, John.
Yeah, I think Toby got the offload off just before he was taken down. I think the opportunity to take Toby at the back of the scrum was missed there. He is a powerful guy, so not always easy to get down, but nice sweet offload and try in the corner. Well done.
Well, Hutt scored early against Hutt Old Boys last week, and then they had 2 yellow cards, and then Hutt got out to an almighty lead against them at half-time. They end up losing that game. Upper Hutt 48 points to 35 at one stage. They were behind by nearly 30 points, I think, at one stage, Upper Hutt, but they fought their way back. Now, this young man here, Tynan Barrett, he's the top point scorer in the competition so far. He's currently sitting on, I can tell you soon, I've got it written down in my book somewhere, 93 points in the competition so far. Real talent is Tynan Barrett, another product of the factory that is St Patrick's College Silverstream. There's obviously a Petone supporter in a helicopter just trying to distract him from the kit. And it obviously has worked, and so the score will remain 5-0. And so Petone being behind on the scoreboard early, and they're definitely going to have a tough challenge with this wind, the sun looking directly at them, John.
Yeah, I think so. Be interesting to see what game's played with that. Interesting to see what happens when the ball goes high, if the fullbacks on both sides are up to it.
Restart taken by Emmanuel Solomona, just outside his 22. McCashin marshalling the troops, looks and goes for the box kick, puts the high up and under. Karma Green, he's going to be tested here this afternoon. Wild bounce of the ball, and Stanley Solomon manages to secure it, and he's under real pressure, being taken into touch by Malatai. And that's good defence so far, and yet again the sun is being a real enemy here for Petone.
Yeah, the sun, and I think some early game nerves. Once this settles down, I think we'll see a better display. But smart work from the Rams, putting it high and testing what they think might be a weakness.
So, first line out of the afternoon. And we'll be bringing you score updates from around the grounds as this match progresses. Barrett with the ball, offloads it to Solomona. Known for holding the ball in one hand, looking for the offload. That time, not to be. McCashin out to Crosby. Crosby swarmed very quickly that time there by Mason Henry. Barrett has been knocked on that time there by Nick Apikatoa, and Petone look to try and speed up the game in their favour. Lossi Filippo with the one hand, offloads it to Cam Ferreira, playing his 52nd game for Petone. Ball has been lost, but we're coming back for the original knock-on. And it's going to be a scrum, roughly 14 metres directly in front of our commentary position here at Maidstone Park. We're lucky that there is a little small stand here. It gives us some elevation here at Maidstone Park. Behind us directly is a construction site. The new sporting hub here at Maidstone Park is potentially going to be finished in September, and that will be a great asset for the community up here, John.
Yeah, it will be. Upper Hutt's got a great sporting heritage, and being able to have this stand here is really going to enhance the enjoyment of watching sport here.
Big scrum here, Cam Ferreira. Good platform, front rows collapse. And has Petone been penalised there, John? Talk us through that one.
I have to say, I think it was a little bit unlucky. Tony certainly had the way on. Both props binds were solid, but you know, at the end of the day, the referee's the adjudicator here. I'm reluctant to disagree with him, but I think especially since we had the way on going forward, it was a bit of a tough penalty, but we'll wear that.
Kick is successfully into touch, and it's going to be a line out for Upper Hutt, roughly about 8 metres inside Petone's 22, playing towards the eastern side of Maidstone Park. Eli Hunt with the throw. This is his 142nd game for Upper Hutt. Crosby takes that, the line out, they secure the ball and they swarm around it and drive, and Petone look to, the ball's come loose, and Cam Ferreira kicks it through using his talent from touch rugby. He's got John O'Ryan there coming back after him, but Cam Ferreira nearly hangs on to him. He gets around Alapati Soki, and there's a late tackle here, potentially from Mason Henry. Will he be penalised? No, it's actually a penalty against Upper Hutt, and this, oh no, he's got the wrong direction. It's going to be a penalty against Petone for their late tackle there, John.
Yeah, I think he was committed for the tackle, but the rules are the rules, and you know, once the ball's left his hand or left his foot, you can't make the tackle. So pretty straightforward stuff there. I think Petone really want to get into this game. They haven't had much of the ball. They haven't had much of an opportunity to show what they've got. So probably people just get a little bit too excited.
But of course, there's options here. They can take it from where the ball went into touch, and so the penalty has been advanced. It's under the laws of the game. Very switched on there by Toby Crosby. Managed to catch Zahn Johnson, the referee, out there that time. And it's going to be a penalty shot at goal here. This to extend the lead to for Upper Hutt, to make it 8-0. And there's plenty of talking out there, John. One of the benefits of being close to the sideline, you can hear it all.
Yeah, but as a coach, we encourage communication. You know, when things go quiet is when things aren't working. So as long as the chat's happening and it's positive and they're talking about how to fix problems or create opportunities, then totally encourage it.
Tynan Barrett, 405 career points, made his premier debut back in 2016. And this is only his 75th game. In between those times, he's played for the Colts or even the under 85s. And that's a successful penalty kick, and the score extends out to 8 points to 0 here at Maidstone Park with roughly 8 minutes gone in the first half. So Upper Hutt starting very well, and Petone, well, they're under a bit of pressure here at the moment, but they know how to bounce back in these situations. They've done it before.
Yeah, Brad, I think they just need to hold on to possession for a little while and get some phases going, and then we'll get a chance to see what they've got on offer.
So knock on against Upper Hutt. Scrum centre field, pretty much right smack bang on the 22 for Petone. And Upper Hutt making a mistake there that time, John. And let's see what Petone can pounce off that mistake with.
So I can see there's been a lot of work at training at Petone for the last couple of weeks off set piece. We've trained against them, so I would expect something to be going on here. I don't think it'll just be a shuffle. I'd imagine there'll be something special going on here. It's prime attacking space.
So important scrum as we look at this backline setup for Petone. Lossie Filippo and Riley Higgins out to the left. Khan Green, TJ Clark and Lester Malolo on the right-hand side. They decide to take it out to the right. Here goes Khan Green. Looks high pass over the top. Here goes Stanley Solomon. Puts those dancing feet on. They swarm around and quickly up out. They don't want to see a repeat of what happened at Tawa last week when he scored 4 tries against Tawa. Here they go. They take it into contact. Larkai in support. They're driven back just temporarily outside the 22. Ferreira out to the ever-experienced Jack Ross. He charges forward into the tackle. Met by Mason Davies. Cam Ferreira finds Green again. Riley Higgins sides. This is dangerous time here for but Upper Hutt as Lossie Filippo takes it in. They're pleading for a turnover, but not to be. And Riley Higgins is flirting with the touchline. The ball stays in. No, the flag of James Taylor, the assistant referee, comes up. And good defence there from Upper Hutt, John.
Yeah, I think Petone were just a little bit too slow to get over that ball to secure it. Tricky situation. We only had one cleaner, but all credit to the Rams. They made the most out of that situation.
So line out for Upper Hutt. Still not out of danger. They're inside their 22. And look for them to take it to the back here. It's been juggled by Connelly. It's messy ball. But they've managed to keep possession. No, Petone have got the turnover. And they decide to go for the pick and go and get to their work. Please for a penalty. Being cleaned out, but not to be. Here goes Peter Larkai. Wrestles a good matchup between the two talented number 8s of him and Toby Crosby this afternoon. Riley Higgins looks to cut them open. They swarm around him quickly. Emmanuel Solomona doing extremely well there. Cam Ferreira's a low pass out to one of the forwards. There's a penalty advantage being played here against Upper Hutt. Look, this play will be brought up as it's become unplayable. And a penalty here for Petone. Not rolling away, I presume the call is. From our distance, we're going to just make it out. And Petone decide to kick it into touch. Now, John, this is a line out for Petone. Options here close to the line.
So Petone this year haven't got the tallest line out in the world. And I haven't seen a whole lot of work on the pick and go drive, the drive off the line out so far at practice this year. So I'm wondering if they might just secure it and then go wide.
Jack Ross secures the line out. And they look for the drive, but Upper Hutt are physically matching them. Here they go! Off the back goes Ryan Emery. Slams towards the line. Has he got the ball down? He has. The try has been scored. And Ryan Emery scores for Petone to make the score 8-5 in his 61st game. And that is his 8th career try. And that was a good setup there by Petone, John.
Yeah, they proved me wrong and went for the drive. And Ryan Emery had the wherewithal to see that we weren't making great progress. So he took it upon himself to look at the opportunity, and he made the most out of that. He's a very powerful man, got a good step on him as well, so great reward for hard work done.
Well, we've had a pretty cold week here in the Wellington region, but today you'd think it's, late summer weather. It's been pretty warm earlier in the day. Both John and I were down watching St. Pat Silverstream play Palmerston North Boys, and that was a thrilling game, John. Silverstream were narrowly ahead at half-time, and with 5 minutes to go, they looked like they were going to lose 30 points to 25. Palmerston North were all over them, and then they crawled their way back, travelled 60 metres to win the game, 32 points to 30. It was a quite an entertaining game of footy for first 15 rugby. Carn Green's conversion comes through, and it is successful. Scores are now 8-7.
Yeah, it was a great game of rugby to watch. Palmerston North Boys High certainly had the momentum at the end of the first half and carried that through to most of the second half. Silverstream did well to hang on, and they were really hanging on, but they managed to string, I think, what would have been over 20 phases together to win that last try. So all credit to them. That's great for the young guys because it allows them to understand what the pressure of first 15 rugby is, because it is a bit different to what they've been used to.
Tynan Barrett gets played back underway. High short kick, and well taken for Petone. Their centre field, 15 metres on their own half. Carn Green puts up the high. Gary Owen chasing back after it is John O'Ryan with that black headgear. There's not much to him, but he certainly has a lot of speed. Here goes Tynan Barrett, takes through. He's lost possession of the ball, and it's knocked on, and that's a good tackle there that time there. Who got the tackle there, John?
No, couldn't see it, sorry, couldn't get the number.
It was an effective tackle, and it's resulted in a scrum for Petone. So at this stage now, Petone's starting to get their patterns going and settling down a bit. Upper Hutt got out to that big flyer, John, but now Petone's starting to get themselves sorted out.
Yeah, look, they've got a lot to offer on attack, Petone. There's genuine talent across the park there. So they just have to hold on to the ball for a number of phases. They need to play a bit of territory as well. You know, playing in this part of the field's not really where they want to be.
So big scrum here for Petone. Roughly 25 metres in from the southern touchline. A great field here at Maidstone Park. They relayed it roughly 3 years ago. And you can remember what it used to be like, a bog. Here goes Riley Higgins out to Lossie Filippo, can't get the ball. And it's just hit our commentary position. Manuel Solomona looks for the quick throw-in. But no avail, as we'll have the line out directly in front of our commentary position. Eli Hunt to throw the ball. Another product of St. Pat's Silverstream. Roughly get 22 Silverstream old boys in this game. John, you were counting before?
Yeah, it's a huge number.
Cam Ferreira gives it out to Ryan Emery. But Upper Hutt lose the line out. Here goes Petone. Stanley Solomon kicks it through. There's plenty of space, and that's gone into touch. And that's a good touch finder and good vision. And that pushes Upper Hutt back into their own 22.
Yeah, I think Petone will be pretty happy to be down this end of the park now. So even though they've given up possession, I think territory is more important for them at the moment. They can apply pressure and then do their magic. As regards the 22 stream players, I've had the pleasure of coaching a number of them, probably about 12, 13 of them, and you know, there's some genuine talent here.
Secured for Upper Hutt, and they decide to charge it out of their 22 and set up their box kick. Kay McCashin kicks it down. Stanley Solomon passes it into centre field to TJ Clark, who finds Lossie Filippo, and he puts on the afterburners. He goes for a run. He gets around the tackle. It's Todd Fenson. Passes in field to Cam Ferreira. Advances into the 22. Riley Higgins looks for the offload. He's been brought down. Beater inside the 22. And here an Upper Hutt player flies through the side. Carn Green surveys, puts the high pass up to Jordan Salui. Out to Emery. Emery, he's got Stanley Solomon on his right-hand side. He decides to offload it into the tackle to Solomon. And he's going to be tackled roughly 15 metres away from the try line. Upper Hutt's defence really been tested here. And it's a penalty against Upper Hutt. Hands in the ruck. And look for Petone to pluck the corner again here, John.
Well, yeah, I think considering the success of their first foray down there, I think they'll have another crack at that again. They'll just want to probably be a bit quicker on their setup this time. I think, you know, looking at how they got there, they were in position, but, you know, if they're there half a second earlier and they get the way on it, it's very hard to stop. I think that's one of the big challenges with driving walls these days, is you've got to get them going quickly.
Healthy crowd here at Maidstone Park to see this big clash between these two rivals. It's taken by Jack Ross. They put the ball down. There's in potential danger of losing it, but it's still there for Petone. At the base, they're looking in. Here goes the charge by Teddy Hearn. Teddy Hearn rumbles. Has he rolled the right way? Upper Hutt may have got the turnover. No, they haven't. And so it's going to be unplayable. And it's going to be a scrum here for Petone. Probably lucky there, John.
Yeah, I think Rams did a fairly good job of sacking that drive before it could really get going. I think Jack Ross's feet were taken out from under him fairly efficiently. The ref obviously didn't see anything anything to worry about in there, so we'll defer to his judgment.
So, important scrum here for Petone. In a fine attacking position. What are their options here at this scrum, John?
I think that blind side's wide enough that Peter Larkai could do something special with Stanley Solomon, so that would be a nice connection there. There's certainly the talent to do it.
They decide to look to push it over. Peter Larkai's got the ball at the back. He decides to take it on his own. And he's been brought down by his opposite number, Crosby. Ferreira fires his out. Oh, that was a strange error in high pass, but there's a penalty here against Upper Hutt. No clear release. I think it might have been called by the YMC arms of Zahn Johnson. And so it's going to be another line out here for Petone. That's a few penalties now against Upper Hutt, and so what the referees call the red zone. They might have to be careful here, Upper Hutt.
Yeah, the referees like to stack them up and then hand out a card on that. We've seen that quite a bit so far in Colts rugby this year, so I assume it's the same refs will be doing the same thing here.
Jack Ross secures the ball. They put the ball into quarantine and go for the drive. And they look. There's Ryan Emery at the back. Have they lunged over and scored? The try's been awarded. And it's Peter Larkai getting the pats on the back. And Petone take the lead. 12 points to 8. They're ahead of Upper Hutt. And yet again, another good line out there, John.
Yeah, look, it's such an attacking opportunity, the line-out drive, and it's got to be mastered. And what I liked about that one there was how organised it was, how quick they got in place. They worked out which side was going to move, which side was taking the pressure, and which side was giving way. They moved around there. Peter Larkai got his legs driving, and it was all over.
So Khan Green with the conversion attempt. This is roughly about 6 metres outside the 22. 5 in from the northern touchline. As the sun has curved away a bit now, but unfortunately for Khan Green in this kicking area, it's probably makes it a little bit more difficult because it's right on the peripheral of his vision.
Hopefully Brad will just be watching the ball too and have to worry about the sun.
High up in the air, has it gone over? No, it hasn't. So the score will remain 12 points to 8. We've roughly 20 minutes gone here in the first half. We'll give you some score updates from around the grounds. John's just going to get his phone ready. So we'll get that to you very soon. Upper Hutt advancing towards halfway. And this will be a challenge here for their captain, Toby Crosby. Only second year out of St. Pat Silverstream, given the captaincy this year. Unlucky not to make the New Zealand under-20s. So the South Africa, Peter Larkai, of course, is was a young year 13. He's in the second year of the under-20s. Penalty here against Upper Hutt. Not staying on their feet. Taken quickly by Riley Higgins, but he was in front of the mark. So, John, let's have a look at some of the scores from around the grounds in round 7.
OBU, Wainui Amata, 7-all at the moment. Oriental Rongotai Tawa, 0-all. Porneki down 2 points, 5-7 to Avalon. Obviously 12-8 to in this game here. And Wellington down 3-7 to Norths.
And no scores yet from Jayville or Parramatta Plympton, Marist St. Pat's and Upper Hutt. We'll be interested to see that Jayville game this afternoon against Parramatta Plympton. Both two teams that history-related, John, in this competition have always been down the bottom of the table. But this year, they've both set the competition alight. And Petone saw that in round 2 when they narrowly won at Houston Park against the Hawks.
Yeah, both those teams have recruited well and obviously got their coaching structures in place. So all credit to them.
Peter Larkai with the ball. It was taken well by Mason Henry. Was the line out. Khan Green finds Lester Malolo, well known for having a short haircut this year and a bit longer here in 2022. Cam Ferreira reaches in forensically, gives the ball out to Sapaya, and Sapaya with the aid of Hearn and Ross charges forward 5 metres inside, but to Upper Hutt's territory. Khan Green cross kick. Here goes Stanley Solomon. Has it gone out in the full? Yeah, that time it has. So a bit overcooked that time, but you could see what he was trying to do there, John.
Yeah, the opportunity was on, and when you got a guy like Stanley Solomon who's got some of the fastest feet going around in Wellington rugby, you might as well try and give him an opportunity. Had the pleasure of coaching Stanley in Wellington under-16s a couple of years ago, and he's an exceptional talent, that young man.
Eli Hunt with the throw, and it's been knocked back by Jared Woodward, who previously had played for Hutt Old Boys Marist between 2015 and 2019, played 53 games there for the Eagles, and then 2020 joined his brother Aidan out here at Upper Hutt. Both of them are brothers of Jason Woodward, former Hurricane, playing his trade over in the UK. Ball bounces kindly that time for Khan Green. He doesn't like that end of the field, as we saw at the start of the first half. Kangaroo kicks it straight downfield over the top of Malatai, and that's a great kick, John, and a pretty awkward angle.
Yeah, that's real skill to pull a kick off like that, because you've got no room to work with. It's got to be pinpoint, and then it's also got to roll the right way, you know, and those things don't happen by accident. They happen by skill and practice. So, yep, hats off to Khan on that one.
So, Upper Hutt pushed back inside their own territory. Coached by Adam Campbell. The share, Cam Ferreira gets it from the back. It's been overthrown, kicks it through. Upper Hutt under pressure, and it's been rolled into touch, and it's going to be a line out for Upper Hutt, 5 metres away from their line. And that time Upper Hutt overthrowing the line out, and Cam Ferreira saw some vision. Line out wasn't set according to referee Zahn Johnson. It was a good take by Jack right there. And the 7 jersey for Upper Hutt, he works at Panhead during the week.
He's a bit of a sort of underrated player in Wellington Rugby, Jack. He's been in and out of that Rams Premier side for a number of years now. He's a tireless worker.
So a bit of a juggle at the back for Upper Hutt. Crosby advances forward to the Upper Hutt player, centre field just inside the 22. They look for a charge through Crosby, who's trying to work his way up through the field. An advantage being played here for Upper Hutt. McCashin decides to go for the box kick, but there was no advantage. Not rolling away is the call. Centre field smack bang in the 22. So a relieving penalty there for Upper Hutt. Except for that opening sort of 5 minutes or so, John, Upper Hutt really have been put under a bit of pressure now in the rest of this match. Yeah,
it's the old possession game, right? If you can stack your possession and stack your phases up long enough, something's bound to happen. And, you know, I think Petone have worked that out. They've held on to the ball and waited for the gaps to appear.
Now, of course, for those of you who are Petone fans, and for the next 3 weeks after this game, 3 home games in a row, Wainui, Avalon and Wellington. We'll be bringing you those live on the following next 3 Saturdays here on Huddy Sports. So we look forward for those games. Pleased for a penalty in the air. I think even John Herbert thought that Petone were lucky not to be caught there.
Yep, a hand round a neck, so pretty lucky, I think.
Upper Hutt, centre field. McCashin surveys, looks and passes. Slow find. Here's an advantage against Petone now. Eli Hunt looks for the support following of Jared Woodward. It's a slow work up the field here for Upper Hutt. This is what Silverstream did very well this afternoon against Palmerston North in the last 5 minutes, as we're patient with the ball in hand. Kane McCashin falling back on his haunches. He'd be thankful he's wearing black shorts instead of white. Manuel Solomona charging forward into the tackle of Salui and Teddy Hearn. Jordan Salui playing his 7th game for Petone. He's been a bit of a find in the front row department for them this year. There's a lot of players in the Petone team, particularly in the forwards, that are out injured at the moment. Tynan Barrett changing the direction. They go through the backs with Todd Scown, so the release must come. McCashin out to Barrett again. Barrett dragged by Jack Ross, but we're coming back. There's a very long advantage there by referee Johnson. Bit of push and shove between Peter Larkai and Nick Apikatoa. And so, penalty here for Upper Hutt, and they'll look to plug this corner again. And they were quite successful down in this corner, but they had a scrum last time, John, and they'll be.
Yeah, I think they'll always back their scrum with a guy like Toby Crosby off the back. I mean, he's got acceleration and power, runs at a low height, so he's very hard to bring down. But I see he's actually jumping in the line out at the moment, which is something that he's
made him a lock, but it's a lie. At the back, it's all secured in there. This is a potential danger of being lost. Zahn Johnson reaching in. Is this going to be a turnover?
Always hard in those tight areas. I'm seeing some slapping of the hands from Riley Higgins, so I'm not sure if he was in there or if he was assisting someone else. Players, Emmanuel Solomon is a classic example. Is he a loose forward playing in the backs, or is he a genuine back?
That was interesting because they've done the same with his brother Elijah. So today, off the back goes Peter Larkai. He's been brought down roughly 10 short of the 22. Upper Hutt really charging, and they look like they potentially have turned it over here. They have. Here they go. Emmanuel, their centre field directly in front of the post now, and it's a penalty. And Petone have been penalised again. field, understandable. You've played 142 Premier games. It's amazing he's still playing for the workhorse he is. He made his debut back in 2009 against Upper Hutt, until the merger in 2014 of the Upper Hutt and Rumataka clubs. So they've elected to go with a shot at goal here.
If he is a bit injured coming off, they've got a great backup on the sideline, Toby Mellon, St Pat Silverstring first 15 captain last year. He's bulked up a bit this year. I think he's over 100 kilograms now, and he's a real workhorse. He doesn't mind getting his head in those dark places, and he always manages to carry and make a metre or two where there is no space. So I'm sure he'll be itching to get on and play against some of his old teammates at Petone.
Tynan Barrett's penalty is successful, and that narrows the score to 1. Petone ahead by 1, 12 points to 11. And Toby Mellon, of course, Parramatta Plympton Junior, who's old man's a die-hard Parramatta Plympton fan, and Toby decided to make the move out to Upper Hutt instead of going to play for Parramatta. And
yes, I spoke to his dad, John, about that, and yep, the conversation wasn't very long.
TJ Clark gets played back underway. It's a high kick. Directly under it is Jared Woodward. Secured well. He's been brought to ground. Please for a knock-on. And knock-on has come. And it's going to be a scrum for Petone. So definitely a noisy game out there. The referee, Zan Johnson, calm as a cucumber. He's not flustered at all by all the discussions going out there.
Yeah. Listening to some of the conversations, I think they're more internal than pushed at him at the moment. So it's, you know, again, boys egging each other on and talking about what they want to do. So all positive stuff.
The front rows come together. There's thinking of great minds in that department. John Herbert. What do they talk about in that area?
Well, as far as great minds go, they're actually a row back in the second row. That's where the real smart guys are.
Here we go, Lester Malala. It's been picked up, and they're going to take all the way here, Upper Hutt. This is a hero by Petone, and it's going to be Suli Malatai to score. He's run roughly 55 metres, and Upper Hutt are ahead. Great try there for the home side.
Yep, Petone will be ruining the mistakes there. Prime opportunity for them to attack, but that is the way the game goes. You know, if you're Johnny on the spot and you grasp the ball, well, the world's your oyster.
Conversion to come, 16 points to 12. And Malatai played for Wairarapa Bush in 2017 to 2018 and holds a record for Wairarapa Bush in their rugby. He became the first Wairarapa Bush player to score 5 tries in a first-class game, well representing the colours of Wairarapa, and I think you can see why he's a talent. Conversion is successful. 18 points to 12 now, Upper Hutt. Head of Petone. For about 8 minutes to go in the first half. Let's have a look and see what some of the scores are, John, around the grounds, and we'll get those to you soon once cellular reception opens. TJ Clark gets play back underway. Let's have a look at some of the scores.
OBU 14, Wainuiomata 12, Oris and Tawa still 0-0, Poneki 5, Avalon 7, Upper Hutt 18-12 as we know, and Wellington down.
Well, the clearance kick by Barrett nearly took out our cameraman, Dan Hicks. You may have heard a slight indiscretion maybe in the feed, but Petone looking to get back ahead in this game after that mistake. Secured, it's gone by the back, and it's loose, and it's been picked up by Seno Connelly for an offside. Riley Higgins may have rushed up, but play on is the call. TJ Clark kicks over the top. The front row is chasing back after that. And kicks towards the touchline. And that's a good touch finder for Barrett, and it's going to be a line out 6 metres inside Upper Hutt's territory for Petone. Roughly pretty entertaining game on a pretty fine surface here, John.
Yeah, this is a wonderful surface, one of the best in Wellington, so we're always going to get a good game here. A few too many errors, I think. I think Petone will be ruining that.
Oh, it's cool. So there's going to be a scrum on the 15-metre mark for Petone. If they lose in Johnsonville table, topsy-turvy. Front rows come together. Ferreira feeds. Good shunt here by Upper Hutt, and they've got the penalty. Excellent work by the front row department. And that was brutal, John Herbert.
Yeah, you can see it all evolving on the way on in that engagement. It's very hard to stop.
Good kick into touch by Barrett. That's going to be a line out for Upper Hutt. 5 points to 12. Upper Hutt ahead of Petone. Real pendulum shift in this last 10 minutes. Crosby jumps and secures it. And they put the drive on. Petone at the back is Solomona. That's a brilliant try for Upper Hutt. And they extend their lead further.
Yeah, well worked try there from the Rams. They showed patience and waited for that opportunity to come. Interesting about he actually attended St Pat Silverstream separate line-out practice. Was always keen to be part of it. So I think we got him one jump. I think we got him one or two line-outs in that 2 years. But he was.
And this conversion is pretty much smack bang nearly centre field in front of the post for Barrett. Strikes off his right boot and missed it. Wow. Well, there's no excuse for that one.
Yes, so they will. They had a bit of an ascendancy there. They had the game was going their way, and then all of a sudden they've sort of just let a few errors and mistakes creep and have lost the ascendancy.
TJ Clark, the high up and under taken by McCashin. 2 tries to his name. His father Tone. Mason Davies runs into Alapatisoki, who last week became a New Zealand citizen. Alapatisoki. High Gary Owen comes up, chasing after it as T. Eli Hunt secures the ball. And there we go. Upper Hutt pouncing. Solomona. Woodward falls to the ground. Brought to ground centre field to hold him up. He's been brought down centre field, 5 away from the line. Crosby has a go. Actually, he's on the wing.
Right, no, I don't think it's going to be a card now.
This to make it 26 points to 12.
Shown sparks of brilliance, but it's just.
Oh, yeah.
Please!
26 points to 12. A dominant last 10 minutes of the first half for Upper Hutt. This time Upper Hutt playing just overstretched the pass that time. And it'll be
interesting to see what changes, Ryan.
Jacksonville
perimeter, nil all.
Oh, wow. all on. Keep it forward and keep it in the forwards. Here they go. Khan Green out to Higgins. Higgins looks for that offload, gives it out to TJ Clark. Has he got the afterbatters to get over? Clark struck back John Herbert.
Yeah, that's a classic move there with the ball over the top to free up some space. Really impressed the pace that TJ Clark showed down the edge. Just reward for some high skill execution.
Into contact and managed to offload it off well. And just in the background here, Manuel Solomon is being visited by the Upper Hutt medic. Looks like he's getting his right arm strapped up here, John Herbert.
Yep, white tape on the wrist in first 15 rugby generally means you're on all right, mum and dad there, but...
Successful, so the score remains 26 points to 17 in this entertaining round 7, who are fifth on the table, and at the moment...
Yeah, or late last year, he's come back. I think he had played his first comeback game in the loose forwards, but whether he goes to loose forward...
He was possession of him and Cam Ferreira. It's a wild bounce and Jack Ross at acting halfback, but there was a knock on at the back. But we're going to have a scrum here for Petone, roughly about 3 metres wide their own half. And here comes Jono Aperinera. He got injured in the Jubilee Cup final last year.
On the loose or in the front row, he's going to make a hell of a difference. It looks like he might actually be going into lock, and that's certainly going to give a lot of power.
But Petone were offside. Ryan taps it quickly and goes. He gives it out to Todd Svensson. He's got his brother Scott in support. Is it a deliberate knockdown? Please, Mike.
Be interesting to see the replay on that one. It didn't look like it went forward out of the hand. It looked like it went straight down. So, no. There we go. Captain's off. That's a real shame for him, especially when they're going to need him. So it's a chance to dig deep for the Petone players now.
So a shot at goal here for Upper Hutt. 12 metres inside Petone territory. 20 metres. Line. His name. Yep. Deliberate. Barrett strikes it easy as you like. And for Petone, John.
Yeah. What are we at now? We've got to score 2 converted tries at least now. So there's work to be done. We've got to string some phases together and wait for the opportunities to appear. It's not a simple. It's not a difficult equation.
Clark gets play back underway. Presume he will for the Hurricanes. The ball's gone into touch. It came off an errant Upper Hutt boot. Eli Hunt's boot. It's been taken quickly by Petone. Quick throw in. Ferreira puts the high kick down over the top. One out for Petone, about 15 metres inside Upper Hutt territory on the southern touch line.
Well, it's a great opportunity for going for a 5-man line out and then play some phases off that.
Ryan Emery, it's an errant one, but it's been picked up by Alapatisoki. And Peter Larkai, centre field with the ball, holds it in one hand, pushes back. Connelly Solomon continue on his fine form.
There are some things you just can't coach in this world, and fleet of foot run against him.
So 8 tries in the Petone colours for Stanley Solomon, 4 last week. And this is only his 5th Petone game. Some incredible stats in a new...
With Petone, he was initially in the Colts side, and you can tell he had a hankering to play Premier Rugby, and we were just telling him, hey, just keep doing your work and you will get...
Skips it through to 10, slam to the deck. Barrett looks, tries to get round Mason Henry, but is unsuccessful. It's aggressive at the breakdown. Looks like Petone have turned this.
Got to string phases together. They've got to hold on to the ball. There's obviously enough strike power there to score tries, even without Riley Higgins on the field. But you're not going to do it if you're not in the right part.
And Jack Ross has stolen it, but he's knocked it on while securing the ball. So Upper Hutt keep possession. Emmanuel Solomona looks and takes into contact, wrapped up by Emery and Mololo. McCashin, they kick it through. It's been charged down by Jack Ross, but a penalty here against Upper Hutt, against Petone, I say. And Emmanuel Solomon is down on the deck.
The player flowed, but you know, you got to make the tackle first.
Line out's been overthrown, and unfortunately, closing the gap that time, Petone. So free kick to go Upper Hutt with possession of the ball at the back. But it's another free kick. Tapped quickly by McCashin, but was not on the mark.
Yeah, prime attacking opportunity now. One down for Petone, scrum tying up all the forwards. Lots of space to play with. You know, close to it. So there'll have to be some spectacular defence coming in from Petone now to stop this.
So Upper Hutt have elected to go for the scrum. Second half, 29 points to 24. The Rams ahead of Petone here at Maidstone Park. Upper Hutt have Fitzroyasi's come on. Of course, he previously played for Hutt Old Boys Marist between 2020 to 2022. He's made the move out here to Upper Hutt this year. Last year, John Herbert. So
yeah, he's a quality player. He was initially Petone Junior. He was with Petone in the pre-season, but obviously he had it off.
Wood has been substituted. He's worked hard this afternoon. Here they go, Fitzroyasi, one to beat. Slides towards the ground. The try's been awarded.
Yes, you know, a big man who can move. You know, he's powerful. Pretty hard to stop close to the line. You know, it's the old attitude, and don't want to be trying to tackle him when he's at full flight either.
So a 10-point buffer now, 34 points to 20. Looks like Rikov. But unfortunately,
similar to the, you certainly showed that the game has to be played for 80 minutes.
Undefeated too, John, I believe. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Restart.
Right. Converted try will be at the forefront of Petone's mind at the moment. Right. I'm sure Riley will be aching to get out there and justify for his error.
Holding them out for now. The Upper Hutt bats can advance behind the high, up to the highmost foot. Still going for Petone here. This is a good drive. But they've just got to be careful they don't lose control of the pill. There's a penalty here, and plug the corner again, John.
I'd say so. They'd be fairly confident in their line-out drive. That last one there was pretty effective. So if we can get it within 5 metres, you know, it's not, and get your drivers in fast. That's the key to it.
So right, Petone this afternoon. They put the charge on again. There's an Upper Hutt player on the ground looking to try and slow it down. That was Toby Crosby. Here we go, Petone at the back. There's M Forensic. They take it out to Peter Larkey. He lunges forward. He's just got to be short. He's been stopped by Crosby. Comes out to Lester.
Yeah, that was the medicine. That was the medicine they needed to take. Doesn't get this one, I think he'll be...
So of his teammates from last year, Ben Kershaw coming on to the field for Petone. Interesting story about him. John Herbert, you coached him last year, was in the third 15 in 2000.
Hard work looks like, because this young man just worked his ass off to get where he is now. You know, his scrummaging ability came on, everything he did, he got in shape, he bulked up.
Upper Hutt, Mason Davies takes it into contact. Here goes Todd Svensson. Wrestled to ground. There's O'Ryan runs into... Probably not a wise idea. There's not much on John O'Ryan. Svensson again, wrapped up. Centre field. Looks appear. Upper Hutt. Here goes Barrett. He's got Ryan in support if he needs him. But it's been taken by Filippo. But we're coming back for the penalty. Very long advantage.
Very good rugby coach as well, Mike Ryan, and he's found his form this year, worked out what it takes to be successful, and really going. You know, one of the things we're taught as rugby coaches is always go forward and always apply pressure. Part of the principle.
Solomon nearly has a foot to it. Right, gets it back and passes it to Solomon. Here goes Fitzroyasi, the big human that he is. Runs down this southern touchline, has been bundled into touch, has he? Play still on. The ball still ahead by 3 points. Another advantage. Double blast the whistle. This could be another card here, John Herbert.
You know, discipline's everything in the game these days, and certainly put a big emphasis on maintaining discipline and getting this detail stuff right at practice. So, sure, it's going to be very frustrating for them.
Well, it's a discussion here between potentially to both sides for whatever's gone on.
Well, it's certainly willing out there. There's a lot of guys who know each other, so sometimes they provide the fiercest rival.
That penalty. Shot at goal has been indicated. So Tynan Barrett, he missed the one before to extend the lead to 6 points. Can he make it 6 this time? Then another kickable position.
Interesting, he has two different.
This time it's a lot better, and it's back to a 6-point ball game.
Yep, used the stab on that one because it was close enough, and that seems to be the one that works best for him.
30 rounds very soon. As Petone look to get play back underway. Well taken by Upper Hutt, and they take the ball into contact. And it's play on here. McCashin finds Crosby. Crosby runs straight into Larkai, and he's in possession of the ball was Cam Ferreira. Kershaw just caught it a bit there, managed to keep possession. Here goes Malolo. Malolo gets around Solomona, it goes again, slides down, runs into Aidan Woodward. It's loose ball, and here goes McCashin, finds Roy Arcee, but he's got the butterfingers. He's knocked the ball on, but we're coming. Let's have a look at some of the scores around the grounds, because there's some interesting ones, John.
Yeah, Parramatta 13-6 over Johnsonville, OBU 38-17 over Wainuiomata.
Wow, it's interesting scores so far. So it's going to be a Petone line out. Just outside, runs straight into Aidan Morgan, and he's got two players bringing him down into contact there, roughly about 10 metres away from the try line. Alapatasoki charging forward. Upper Hutt doing well on defence here at the moment. Malolo finds TJ Clark. Clark kicks it through. Can Lossi Filippo get the ball? This is a brilliant try. 37 points to 36. Upper Hutt ahead by 1. Well, that was just clever. That was good vision again by TJ Clark, and Lossi.
Interesting story with Filippo Sapaya, who's playing at lock today. Initially, he wasn't sure what he was doing. Him in 2021 as a lock who'd actually never jumped before. And we put him through our jump processes at Stream, our grunt up front process, which is jumping.
Restart taken by Sapaya again, who John Herbert was just talking about. Bulls at the back with Ferrer comes out to Khan Green, puts the high kick up as this late afternoon sun is now gone into the hands of TJ Clark, and it's a penalty here against Upper Hutt. Offsides, a bit of push and shove going on as the tension.
So let's see if they can maintain possession and pressure, because that's going to be the key.
So the ball's gone into touch, and it's going to be the line out for Petone, about 7 metres inside Upper Hutt's half.
He's obviously been to the gym and had some carbohydrates and protein, and he's a bigger boy these days.
All those. And Upper Hutt will likely put the scrum down here, John Herbert, which they do.
Yep. So now you've got all his first 15 front row from last year involved.
Jersey 19 for Petone coming onto the field, Sam Tornesi, product of Hutt Valley High School. He's actually replacing Filippo Sapaya. Sam Tornesi made his debut. 28th game. And he just the one try on the Petone colours. So great work by Sapaya this afternoon.
Yep, Filippo decided he was going to play league this year, and
movement from Union to league this year. Mika Alafatu, the number 8 for Hutt Old Boys Marist 2 weeks ago, was playing for them, and now he's gone to play for Tiara. Here goes up the Rams player. He gets over the top of ball. It's been turned over. Excellent work by Larkai. Good work indeed by the young talented player. It's been bricked down through Stanley Solomon and casting after Svensson. That's a slip round the ankles. Ferreira, have Petone managed to get it? No, Upper Hutt have got it as a penalty. Penalty here. Connelly and Solomon having a bit of an exchange. Scott's fence. I don't know if that was the right decision, John Herbert.
Yeah, as a coach, I probably wouldn't have backed it, but, you know, Riley's out there. He's the one playing the game. He's the one who saw the opportunity, so we've got to back our players.
And here he is with the ball right.
Though, because, you know, we're in the right part of the park, and all Upper Hutt has to do is make one error, and then Petone, you know, they're back into it again. You know, Toby Mellon's a pretty accurate line-out thrower, but, you know, he's just...
Runs into Kershaw. Kershaw manages to suppress the might of the protein. McCashin goes for the high box kick. It hasn't been a kickable position, John Herbert. What will Petone do?
Well, as a coach, I'd be encouraging them to take the kick, but let's just see what Khan decides to do.
Oh, and actually the person stepping up for the kicking tee is going to be TJ Clark.
Yeah, TJ's an accomplished kicker. Kicked at St Pat's College Silverstream while he was playing there, and
his kicking radar at Lyndhurst Park last weekend was on form. Minutes to go, John Herbert. Lolo's afternoon has come to end. He's had a good afternoon. Restart, well taken by Tinesi. That's been a good area of Petone that's been good this afternoon as they're got the ball. The throw from Royasi didn't find any Upper Hutt players. Pleased for a penalty. Not to be. Larkeye stops and thinks. I thought he was probably playing. Kick across, it's over. Can Filippo latch on? No, it won't bounces and goes into touch, and so it's a reasonable touch finder. But I think he was trying to get someone on his team to latch onto that. Line out for Upper Hutt. Toby Mellon with the throw. It's good to see he shaved that goatee off. The last time I commentated him against Wainui Amata, it was a big one. I think he was looking to be like King Tutankhamun.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that kick there. Not sure of the value of that.
Yeah, well, and so coming back to a scrum for Upper Hutt. I'm not sure that was the Rosas decision. Well, Manuel Solomona just went to get the ball and fell over on his backside, and I think he doesn't have long enough sprigs.
Yes, the long sprig with the backs at St Pat's College Silverstream. When we're putting 21s in the front row and offering 18s to the backs, they'd look at it as if, you know, we'd come from outer space or something.
Well, you would have needed it at Silverstream this afternoon. It looked like an immaculate field region, except for the exception of Maidstone Park. Looked like it's already July, the state they're in. Upper Hutt scrum under pressure. Crosby does well before the pending penalty could have come. And here he goes on the full. So Upper Hutt line out at a key moment here for them. They're trailing by 2.
Yeah, opportunity there with a backwards moving scrum for Petone to apply some pressure, but Toby Crosby
settling down at the line out time. You can definitely feel the tensions here at Maidstone Park.
Yeah, I always thought this was going to be a close match.
Upper Hutt last won this game in 2016. They won 34 points to 26 at the Petone Rec that day. Ross steals the ball at the line out. Spence secured, please, for an offside. It is!
Yes, yep. Boy, those are tricky situations, you know, because your instinct is to grab. Yes, right, so Tynan Barrett hasn't looked quite as assured with the long distance of his technique and abilities up to it.
Well, our clock says that 80 minutes is up. They're still saying 3 minutes left on the Maidstone.
Crossing my fingers.
You can definitely feel the easing and the tension. But it's a shank of a kick. It's not the greatest one. John Herbert, he doesn't quite like those long out on the angle kicks. But Petone, they've got the 22-metre dropout, and they'll be looking to kick this pretty deep.
Yeah, I'd imagine they're going to bang it straight down the middle as far as they can and have a...
He's just got to slam it up, and actually slams it to Todd Svensson before he goes with the Petone players. Probably trying to get a bit of ricochet. McCashin looking like he's going to play a full 80. Jack Wright
came round their side there. I went, well, this is it. This is it, unfortunately, and the ref didn't miss it, as he shouldn't. But yeah, video on that, and...
a straightforward kick for him.
Yeah, I imagine his chip technique will come back in and he'll slot this. Be very surprised if he doesn't.
This to make it. It's gone over. There's still time to play, folks. Upper Hutt ahead by 1. 40 flair and excitement under the ball. Beat Stanley Solomon's
Yes, they're going to try everything now to try and get a turnover. It's going to be crucial. I probably would have put that...
Petone Swarman. And that time, Alapatasaki penalised for interfering with Kane McCashin.
You know, to be fair, Brad, he...
Shield. And Petone became so close. And they've fallen by one. A late penalty at the end.
Yep, you know, to paraphrase the Sean Fitzpatrick back in the day, all credit to Upper Hutt Rams. They deserved their victory. They played, ruining their errors and some of the silly penalties they gave away. And I know that Pipes and Friggy and Peck will be working very hard to address those during the week. But let's get...
The Upper Hutt Rams have beaten Petone. And they're going to take home the Ted Connelly Cup for 2023 back home to the club. But a good fight back by Petone. It was a difficult match under real pressure. But it's been a real pleasure bringing you this game this afternoon here.